I'm Ananya Rajagiri. I'm working at the Center for IPR here at Andhra University. I'll be talking on trademarks today. Yeah, so what is trademark? This is another type of intellectual property rights. You all know that today's world is a world of brands, right? On top, you can see some of the brand names that are very common in the US, and at the lower right corner, I'm showing you the brands that is very common in India. So you can see the top left corner, you can see YouTube, MACD, Google, Coke, Nikon, Canon, Facebook, Unilever, Samsung, MasterCard, you know, so many brands we know about it, and we identify the quality and the service of the brand by seeing the name itself or the logo itself. So those are basically trademarks. For example, here you see for India, there is Tata, like Surf Excel, Bonvita, Horlicks, Boost, Lux, Dove, so many things. Okay. The next slide. Example, in the morning you wake up and you use some tablecloth for can please mute Teja. If you can please mute. The host, you have the permission to mute all, I guess. Thank you. Okay, so when you wake up in the morning, you use some alarm clock to wake up. And you can see, I'm just giving you some common example, you know, so that Orpet alarm clock you can use. Then you some toothpaste that can be Colgate, and then you bathe with or like soap, and that can be Lux, and then use some shampoo. Here it is probably Head and Shoulder, and then now you see that I didn't even look at the shampoo bottle properly because it's very small in the presentation, but from that appearance I can guess that it's probably Head and Shoulder. So that is the power of a trademark. And then at breakfast, okay, right now I can do it. I may go out for a minute because I'm changing the Wi-Fi. Just hang on a minute, okay? Okay, so then at breakfast you have Kellogg's cornflakes. That's another trademark, the Kellogg's. Whatever picture I have shown here, all those are trademarks, okay? And then a toast of Britannia bread, and you have applied some Amul butter. Then you are wearing a red and tailor suit, and you are keeping a mug pen in your pocket, and then you are checking emails on your mobile. I don't know which mobile is that. Just assume that it's a Samsung mobile, and off you go in your Hyundai car, right? So the story continues with newer trademarks. So throughout our life, throughout our life in a day, we are using a lot of trademarks. So the Trademark Act in India, it was enacted in 1999, and the section number is 21M of Trademark Act 1999 that defines the word mark. What is mark? So mark can be a brand, heading, label, name, signature, word, letter, numeral, shape of goods, packaging, or combination of colors, or any combination thereof. For example, you can see the Coca-Cola bottle beside. The name of Coca-Cola is a trademark, and then the shape of the bottle, as you can see, they have a specific shape, a distinct shape that is not being used by any other cold drinks company like Pepsi or somebody else. So the shape is also trademark. And on your right, you can see Nike for shoe or some sportswear or something. So that's a symbol. And then below that, there's MACD, McDonald. So that's another symbol. So for example, if I'm not saying that the name of Nike, right? I'm just saying the symbol, but I know it's Nike. So that's the power of trademark. Then for MACD, they will always have a slogan attached with their sign, that symbol. I'm loving it. So that is also their trademark. For example, tomorrow, some local guy just beside my flat, if he's gonna come up with some company and keeps the name as McDonald with the same shape and puts I'm loving it, so that's basically not gonna work. He cannot get a trademark for that because that has already been registered. It's quite popular, like, right? So you understand, I hope. And then you can see that you can trademark a color also. So here it is orange. I'm not writing the word orange. This whole thing is a trademark, the orange color, and it's written orange. That is a trademark. That's for Home Depot, I guess. It's probably in the US. And for there, this is the brand that owns Home Depot. So you can understand that trademark is basically a mark that can be name, symbol, slogan, shape, color, and so many things. I'll be giving him some example. What is the general definition? The signs that distinguish goods or services in a given market. So you can get a trademark for a good or a service also. For example, for beverages, Pepsi is a trademark for beverages, and BMW is a trademark for cars. So you are not going to have some another car for you are manufacturing it right here and giving the name BMW. You won't get the registration. So you understand the concept, right? That there will be some brand and you cannot just overlap with it, or you cannot make some confusing name. For example, you remove the word B and you write there D and MW, so that whenever people are seeing from far away, they will not be able to understand it's B or D, and it looks like, and the symbol is also same, white and blue, like the way they are representing it here. So BMW, you won't get the trademark for. So what is the rationale for protection? Trademarks protect the rights of producers and of consumers who are using it, their rights also, and the public interest by protecting fair practices in the market. Because you see, when you are buying some Pepsi beverage, you assume that it will be good. It's just behind some other beverages there whose name you are not quite sure of. So you will think, no, this is better, let's go for it. Or, for BMW car, they have their own reputation. So this thing is there that, there will be some fair practice in the market. And another rationale is owner of the trademark, they can prevent third parties from using confusingly similar trademarks or similar products or services. Just I told you that if you remove B and put D or something, and so it's confusing, you cannot get a registration for that. Okay. I hope you guys are understanding. Okay, so what is the definition by WIPO? I hope if you are attending all these classes for last throughout this month, so by this time you must have known about WIPO. WIPO is World Intellectual Property Organization. That is the mother body of IP in this world. Okay, that's located in Switzerland, Geneva. So what is their definition? A trademark is a sign capable of distinguishing the goods or services. I have already told you that it can be goods or services also, and or provided by one enterprise from those of other enterprise. Any distinctive word, letter, numeral, drawing, picture, shape, color, logo, label, sound, or even scent or combination used to distinguish goods or services may be considered to be a trademark. Okay. So what do you mean by a mark? That is basically any sign that can be represented graphically. So this is something important. And these 235 participants are there. You guys, I hope you are all listening. This is important for your exam. Okay. That what mark will qualify for a trademark, a sign that can be represented graphically. So it can be words or symbol. Symbol you can draw in a graphical manner. You can show it. An image you can definitely show it, and which is used to differentiate in the market products or services from other companies. For example, Coca-Cola and Pepsi, both are there in the similar market, right? Both are beverages, but we know this is Coke and this is Pepsi. So they will have some different logo and different bottle, the shape. Coke bottle is different and their name is different and the way their packaging is different. So you can distinguish one product from another product. The next one is, to be valid, the sign shall be distinctive and it should be available and it should not be prohibited by law. Now, what is distinctive sign is that it is unique, and I will be explaining it later also, but it will be unique and it is not a description. It is a distinct word or symbol or something, and it should be available. I just told you, if somebody has already got a trademark for Coca-Cola, again, you are not getting a trademark for Coca-Cola. So that name should be available and it should not be prohibited by law. It's not against public order or morality or anything, so it's not prohibited by law. And the protection is for 10 years. This is again important for your exam. What is the term of a trademark? So that will be 10 years. For patent, does anybody remember what is the term of protection? Did anybody listen properly? I can understand if somebody can write it in the chat. So for trademark, it is 10 years. And tell me who remembers how much is the protection for patent. You can write in the chat. I'm going to the next slide. By the way, for patent, the difference is that protection term difference is that for patent, after 20 years, okay, I already told you. Good job. Good job. Somebody wrote. Anushwa Kumari. Okay, excellent. So people can remember. Good job. So that 20 years, actually after 20 years, it's done. It's done forever. You are not going to renew it. You are so that is the whole term. It's 20 years. But for trademark, it is different. Okay. For trademark, the first time you are filing, you are getting a term of 10 years. After 10 years, you can file the renewal and you can get another 10 years. Like that, if you are using the mark, you can get the trademark lifelong. Okay. It can be renewed forever. So as long as you are paying the renewal fee for every 10 years. Okay. So this is the term protection difference between patent and trademark. Okay. So what is the criteria of registrability of trademark? There are three criteria. First one, function of the mark and distinctiveness. I have already told you about being distinct. Then the first kind of requirement relates to the function to distinguish the products or services of one enterprise from the product or services of another enterprise. I hope you guys understand it. Then permissible by law. So not deceptive or contrary to public order. So if your mark is something falling under this category, like your mark is deceptive or contrary to public order or morality, so it is not permissible by law. You're not going to get it. So it's explained that the second kind of requirement relates to the possible harmful effects of a trademark if it has a misleading character or it violates public order or morality. The third one is availability. So it has to be available. Nobody is using it, so it has to be available. I can tell you something on this. This is just for your information, that in China, they keep on filing trademark, and that is such a huge number that nowadays this availability is a big problem there. if you are filing for it, you will see that somebody has already filed it. So that is a big problem there. At least in India, this problem is still not there. And another reason may be that in India, we don't file that much of an amount the way China files. So, but this is for your information that in China, the availability is a big issue. So what kind of marks can not be registered? You cannot register what kind of mark, which is non-distinctive. I'm just giving you a few examples. There are so many other examples also. First one is which is non-distinctive. Second one is which is descriptive. Okay, the mark is itself describing something. So that is not a mark under the definition of Trademarks Act. And third, if it is capable of causing confusion or deception, it is causing confusion in the people. Okay, so no, then likely to hurt religious sentiment. If you are hurting any religious and their sentiment with your mark, no. And then some obscene or scandalous something you are putting on your mark or symbol, no, you are not getting. Okay, here is one more important thing that is important for your exam. See, already I have told you so many things that may be important for your exam. If you are not using the trademark, for example, you have registered the trademark in India. After some time, you are not using it and you forget about it. You are thinking, oh, okay, I have registered. What's the big deal? But if the owner of the mark is not using the mark for more than 5 years and 3 months, then he may lose his trademark rights. Anybody can oppose also. So here it is saying that in opposition proceeding. So remember, it is 5 years and 3 months. So if you are still not using, so you may lose it. Okay, so this is for you. Exercise. Tell me. I have some company for mineral waters, and I'm keeping the mark pure water as a trademark, and I'm filing it in India. So, am I gonna get the trademark for it? Will it be registered in India? Think about it. I will give you time, 2 minutes. You can see it from here, whether it's coming under any of these criteria or not, whether it is non-distinctive or descriptive or capable of causing confusion or religious thing or something. Think about it and let me know. The word mark pure water for mineral waters. You can take any of these three. Then if I'm gonna sell some calculator and I'm putting the mark 1, 2, 3 as the trademark. Or I have cheese, I'm gonna sell the cheese and I'm gonna put the name of that cheese as Parmesan. So what do you think? Just tell me so I will understand. Okay, you guys are understanding, so I will move on. Otherwise, I will go back to the first slide again and again we'll talk and it will be like 8 p.m. or 9 p.m. Right? Anybody can write anything. Any idea? Anybody? Right? Yes or no, whatever you write. Doti Charitha Durga. I think there are no objections for pure water, madam, because this follows the rule of the mark. Okay. Okay, for Rakesh, which one you are talking about? Which mark you are talking about? There are 3 examples here. First one, okay. Okay, but Probably, in my opinion, it is not going to get the A means okay. It is the pure water. The mark is probably not going to pass the exam in trademark register because this mark will come under the descriptive. I am having, see, this is my opinion because I am having one mineral water company. Yeah, great. Hema Sundara Rao. Excellent. Yes, they are not going to get it because it's already there. And I appreciate who wrote that pure water can get it. Maybe your view is also right. But according to me, I am having a mineral water and I am saying the name is pure water. So basically mineral water means what? The water is purified. Purified water. I'm writing that only, pure water. So according to me, if I were the examiner, I'm not going to give it because it looks like some descriptive. It is describing what is there in the bottle. So I feel like they should not get the trademark. The last one you can understand that permission is not possible because it's already there. Somebody already wrote it. And about this word mark 1, 2, 3, that is also probably not possible because for calculator you are putting 1, 2, 3. See, some people tomorrow will come with an idea about 1, 2, 3, 4. Day after that, somebody will come with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But they are not going to get it because somebody has already got it for 1, 2, 3. So this is not a mark. This does not satisfy as a mark. This is just few numbers. Okay, so this is my opinion. But it's great that you guys are participating. I'm really happy. Okay, I'm moving on. So what are few examples of distinctive signs? First one is stylized word mark. For example, Google. It will always be like this. Tomorrow, if you see that Coca-Cola is writing their name as C as blue, and then O red, and then C as yellow, then you will think like, where I have seen it, where I have seen it. Then you will realize, that's Google. Because we realize the color as their symbol, as it belongs to Google. So this is called a stylized word marks. And then this bottle, the next picture, this is for the Coca-Cola bottle. This is a three-dimensional mark because you can see they're showing it from the straight view and from the side view and the cross section also. The upper so this is the way that see I'm writing uniquely identified. So these are the ways how you can identify one good. Coca-Cola will be one good. For the science people who are not aware of this terminology, because I also came from science and I also used to think what is good. So good means a product. Okay, so that is the product is called goods, and another thing is will be called service. For example, Google will have a lot of products. For example, Google, map or something. Those are their products. Google is basically a service. That is a search engine. Okay. So, so the interesting thing is that here we are just talking about three-dimensional mark and stylized word mark. There can be so many things that can uniquely identify this brands. For example, color mark. Okay, if there is some particular color that is being used by a company for a long period of time and people identify with that color. See, Cadbury, we all know this purple color will be there on Cadbury. If I don't see the front side also, it's kept like this, I still can understand how, okay, it's a Cadbury because I know the color. It's their distinctive signature, right? Then the post-it notes. They have this yellow. This is called a canary yellow. So this yellow is their trademark, their color mark. Okay, they don't change the color of their sticky pads. Then this is a heel. This is a women shoe. This is heel wear. You can see the red. One red color is there just beneath the shoe. And since this is a heel, not a sneaker or something, so when the girl is walking, you can see the red color from behind, right? So this is from Louis Vuitton, and they have also trademarked it. This red color has been trademarked by them. Then comes Soundmark. So there are so many examples. Okay, I'm just giving you a few examples from that. But if you can remember these many things, I mean, few of the color marks, you can also search for it, you know, that what are the color marks in India that has been registered or something. So it's really fun to know. After that, sound marks. Sound marks means, you know, some distinctive sound that you can, if you hear it, even if you are not looking at it, you can identify, okay, it belongs to whom. The first one is the Nokia mobile. Now probably nobody using his Nokia mobile, but when it was there, if you are not even looking at the mobile and you are sitting here and somebody is standing there and he is opening his mobile, starting his mobile, so some, you know, these two hands will come and they will join and there will be one music. So that music, that sound is a trademark for their trademark. And then Netflix. I hope you guys are watching something in Netflix, right? So when you open the Netflix, or even if you see an ad where they are giving some clippings of some, you know, some series or something, and after that, yeah, right, Veera Krishna, right. So yeah, even if you are not looking at it, listening to it, you will understand, yeah, definitely it belongs to that. So for Netflix, you know, the ad will come. If you are watching something also, not even in Netflix, in YouTube or something, you are watching, the ad of Netflix will come. They will show some series ad in, you know, some 1 or 2 minutes. Then this Netflix symbol will come and some, like, you know, ta-da, something like that. Some sound will come when they are writing the N. Okay, that is their sound part. And then the Airtel original ringtone. I guess everybody remembers the tune. It's composed by A.R. Rahman. So that is another sound mark. For example, if that sound is there, you quickly identify that, okay, it's from Airtel ad. It's not from BSNL or Vodafone or something. So this is specifically associated with Airtel. So this is their sound mark. So apart from this, okay, I wanted to tell you something important here, that I have already told you that how some mark will be, I mean, will be eligible for being a trademark. So I told you that you should be able to put it graphically, right? So you can ask me that how you can put some sound graphically. So basically you have to write the sound note. You know the notes, right? For example, if you are playing a guitar or something, there will be a note in front of you. A violin or any kind of musical instrument, there will be a note in front of you, like the Indian Saragama like that. There will be a note in front of you. When you are applying for this sound mark, you have to put those marks. Okay, that how to play it. That is how they are representing it graphically, and that's how they get it. Okay. Wah, Taj expression. Yeah, actually, that's really good. But honestly speaking, I'm really not aware of whether they have filed it or not. But you are absolutely right that we quickly understand that it belongs to this group, this company, right? Yeah, exactly, right. So apart from that, for color mark and sound mark, some other things are there, which in India, there is still not an example of any registration. One is taste mark. If some specific taste is there in with some product of some company, okay. And another is tactile, means you know, touch trademark. If you are touching something and you can understand, okay, from which brand it is. So there is not a single example of there in India, but some of the countries there are example. For example, there are so many example of scent mark. the smell mark I told you in the US. So, for example, there is something called strawberry toothbrush. Okay, the toothbrush, the bristle, if you brush it, you can smell the strawberry smell. It's called strawberry toothbrush also. So that is their scent mark. Okay, and then there is some other thing also. For example, some sandal, some flip-flop sandal, there will be bubble gum scent. Okay, so that's scent mark, registered scent mark. Then there is some Verizon store. If somebody has been there, if you walk into the Verizon store, you can smell it. That there is some flowery smell. All their stores will be like that, flowery smell. So that is their registered trademark. I guess they didn't continue the trademark after 10 years or so, but they filed it and they registered it. They got it for that. So these are the example of scent mark. And then about taste mark. Why I'm not keeping any slide for that? Because I didn't find, and probably there is not a single example in India. So I'm not giving the examples, not showing the example, but I'm just telling you the taste mark. Some pharmaceutical company, they filed a taste mark with some of their pills, some antidepressant pill. It has got some orange flavor. So with that taste, for that taste, they filed for taste mark. But I guess it got rejected because yes. Again, if you guys can mute. If the examiner, they thought that this orange flavor is not very unique. Anybody, any company in any pill, they can use it, they can put it. So it didn't get through the exam, but there are provision for taste marks, and maybe in near future we will see it in India also. This taste and smell, maybe we can see the example in India also. Okay, whoever is talking, if that person is not writing, I will write down the name and I will send the mail. No, bar that person from an exam. Then don't blame me. Okay. Guys, whoever is ready, this is exercise 2. On your left, you can see there is a weighing machine. Measure your weight over there, right? I don't know whose weight is 843. Anyway, so you measure your weight over there, and this is the lower part. I mean, lower button. So there are 4 distinct square green marks here. Okay, on the lower side. So can you register this color as a trademark? And the next question is, can you get a trademark on the name Madam, or you can call Madam Gaga for your cosmetics company? For example, if you have some, or for your cosmetics product. So if you have some cosmetic products and you are thinking like, people will go Gaga after I apply this cosmetics or something, and you are thinking, okay, Madam Gaga is the perfect word for it. So can you get a trademark? Tell me, 2 minutes. Yeah, right. Think about it, because here we are discussing the way you replied to the earlier exercise. Here also you can just think about it and tell me. I'm telling you that this one of the color mark I showed, that the Louis Vuitton heel, it got some red color, remember? So when people are walking, the girl is walking, you can see the red color and you can understand, okay, it's a Louis Vuitton heel. So I have already told you half of the answer. You can try to come up with the half part. Okay, I'm waiting. I'm not gonna go to the next slide. I'll go back and start from beginning because you guys didn't understand. No, madam, means for which one? Yes, but why? This is not suitable for trademark for cosmetics. Okay, you are right. But why? And what happened to those people who were writing for exercise 1? They are not attempting this one. What is the name? Hema, Sundara Rao, and Rakesh. Yeah. What happened to you guys? Okay, for weighing machine, may be applicable. For the first one, may be applicable. Hema Sundara Rao. Okay. So, Veera Krishna, can you tell me why it is not available? Then I will come back to this weighing machine also. Hmm. Okay, let me go to the next slide. Do you guys know there is somebody called Lady Gaga, who is a singer? She's a really quite famous singer. Okay, so if you are saying Lady Gaga, if you are removing the word lady and yeah, you are right. And putting it madam. So basically it looks like you are relating somehow to this woman. It looks like that. This is a name of somebody. This is not a real name. You can see her real name is Tiffany, Joan, Angelina, Germanotta, but nobody knows it. Nobody knows it. People know her as Lady Gaga. So if you are just removing Lady Gaga and you see you are putting the name as Madam Gaga, so when people are buying it, they will think, okay, this is somehow related to Gaga, which is not the case. So this is not a good idea to put a name like that. So don't put, if you are filing some trademark, don't put as Madam Gaga. Just search the name whether it exists or not. So you are not going to get it. And for the first one, who replied? The colors are not suitable. Okay. Yeah, tell me, Veera Krishna, why it is not suitable? So this is the one, you can search it also. The colors are not suitable. Yeah, tell me why. And somebody wrote, you only wrote before that, no, madam. You wrote no, madam. Okay. Uh, for weighing machine may be applicable. Somebody wrote Hema Sundara Rao. Puna Hema Sundara Rao. Okay, see here again, this is my view that when that girl is wearing that shoe and you can see the red color from behind it, you can identify that, okay, it's coming from Louis Vuitton. The heel is from Louis Vuitton. But when this weighing machine you are using, you are not able to see the lower button of that. Of course, if you flip it, you can see it. But this is not, the weighing machine will always be like that, right? Will always be placed like that. Nobody will flip it and keep it like that. So probably this will not get. This is my view. And Hema Sundara Rao, you also may be right. This is just my view that this is color is only for significance. Madam means madam. Color is only for significance. Colors are not suitable. Is only for significance. Okay. Ma'am, even Google uses, yeah, Google, that's a color. Yeah, they have specific color, but actually that is not called color marks. Color marks means, only the color will be there, not the name. So that Google, that is a stylized word mark. Stylized, why? Because they are putting different colors for different G, O, and different color is there, right? That is exactly not color mark. For color mark, I have showed you that here you can see uh, the Cadbury Dairy Milk, I told you that they are not putting anything in that. If you just flip it over, but still you can understand, okay, there's a Dairy Milk. And then the post-it notes, the canary yellow, that specific yellow is specifically for them. And this woman shoe, nothing is written on that. So these are exactly just the color, and these are called color marks. Okay. Google is not exactly a color mark. That is a stylized word mark. They are not writing it in a black pen. They are writing it in some different colors. Okay, so I'm moving ahead. Okay, then here comes the well-known trademark. This is a mark which has become so well known to the substantial segment of the public through its extensive and continuous use. Okay, individuals and companies that have acquired immense brand value. So something that is really and really known to everybody. That can be well-known trademark. For their reputation and goodwill in India, through their trademark should get the trademarks included in the list of well-known trademarks to safeguard themselves from future infringement and dilutions. So, in Indian Patent Office website, if you go and see, so you will find there is a list of well-known trademark. There is a long list of well-known trademark, and that is really very much known to all of us. These names, for example, you can say Bisleri, Toyota, Horlicks, Google. That it's very known. We don't know. Okay, Toyota is a drink or something. We don't say like that, right? So, but these are very common name to us. So these brands, they are actually supposed to. They are actually well-known trademark, but they can file. See, it is written here that patent office is saying patent, trademark, and design. Basically, that is that they should get their trademark included in the list of well-known trademarks. Okay, so people are being invited who are from these brands. They should actually get their name included in the well-known trademark. So you understood, right? Now there will be some classes of trademarks. I hope when you attended the patent class, patent class, yeah, basically class, this course class, what I'm doing now. When you attended, you heard about the patent classes. How do I say it? There is some international patent classification called IPC. I hope you have studied it or you remember it, right? So there is something called CPC. That is there are basically two kinds of mark, IPC and CPC. Earlier, US also used to have some different marks. So that is I'm talking about patent. Okay, for trademark also there will be some class. So why people are doing this and making class and all these things, taking some other time? Why they are doing it? Because so many things will be there, right? So many kind of goods. I have already told you about goods. What is good and what is service? So many different kinds of goods will be there. So everybody cannot just keep on filing. For example, if I am filing one trademark for some clothing brand, and so there will be one class. I have shown that class 25 is for clothing. For footwear also, that is the class. So when you are filing the application, you have to mention, okay, this is coming under this class. Or maybe when the examiner is going through it, the examiner can also put the class like that. The same thing happens for patent also. Okay, so classes will be there everywhere. So this is according to NICE classification. Now, I'm not trying to mean that this is a beautiful classification. NICE is a name, that is a place where the agreement was signed. This is a place in France, and this is an international classification of goods and services applied for the registration of marks. Okay, so this is called NICE classification. Remember it. This is not very tough or something. Just remember. So you can see there are total 45 classes that you have to classify your goods or services for filing your trademark. So for goods, there are 1 to 34. There are 34 categories of goods classes. And for services, from 35 to 45, so 11 classes. So total, there are 34 plus 11, 45 classes for trademark. And class 38 is for telecommunication. I don't have time today, but you guys can also search, some trademark class. For example, if you search class 38 and who has got some trademark in India, you may see Airtel or something like that, And for clothing, some clothing brand, for example, Raymond or something which is very popular or something, you can find those things if you search with that class. So, okay. The next one is collective mark. Okay, that is a different thing. Not actually whatever I was talking till now. That is called trademark. This is called collective mark. I hope you guys know about CS, that is Company Secretary. ICSI is Institute of Company Secretaries of India. That is a qualification, CS, like CA, CS. I hope you guys have heard of. So this ICSI is the logo of the organization, that Institute of Company Secretaries of India, ICSI, that is their logo. But the logo, their members can use the logo CS, that I am a company secretary. So see, CS qualification logo. So if somebody has passed the exam, this is a collective mark, this CS. So what is a collective mark? I have written, this is section 21G of Indian Trademarks Act. Okay, I can tell you something important, that in this Act, section 2 will be dedicated for defining all the terminologies used in that Act. For patent also, you can see section 2 is for definition. For trademark also, section 2 for definition. Okay. So section 21G of the Indian Trademarks Act, that talks about this collective mark. And what is that? A trademark distinguishing the goods or services of members of an association of persons. Okay, so members of an association of persons, which is the proprietor of the mark from those of others. So ICSI is the proprietor. These people, these CS people who have qualified that exam, they are member of that association, right? So this CS is a collective mark. See, I have written CS is a collective mark. For example, there will be, Tata Sons. So they belong to Tata. They are Tata Sons. So these are called collective mark. Then the next one is certification mark. You can see, you probably all of you have seen this ISI mark. Government of India has created some standards for almost every product to protect the economic interest of all citizens. Okay, so there is some standard that has to be maintained. These standards are like AgMark for agricultural products, the top right one, and then ISI mark for electrical products, BIS for gold ornaments, and FPO for all the processed fruit products. Fruit products means fruit jam, fruit, some fruit drink or something. You can see FPO. If you are tomorrow, if you are buying some fruit drink, you see whether FPO is there or not. Okay, then you will understand, okay, it has got some standard. If it is not there, probably don't buy it. So these are all about, maintaining one standard. Okay, so I'm coming to international trademark filing statistics. So how people are filing trademark. See, this is global IP filing activity in 2019. After that, it is not available in WIPO. I got the data from 2019. I'm showing you that only. So the source is WIPO database. You can see the, the shaded, what do you call it? This mark area will be for 2018 and that arrow area will be for 2019. Okay, so you can see trademark is the highest number of application that has been filed for among all IPs. So for patent, you can see in 2019, just 3.2 million. Utility model not available in India. You don't bother about it. It's in China and in US. It's 2.3 million, even less than that. For trademarks, it is 15.2 million. That's a lot, right? In 1 year. And industrial design is 1.4 million. So that is the statistics. Now this one is trained in trademark application for top five offices. Okay, what are those offices? China, US, India, Brazil, Republic of Korea. Now the confusing thing is that here the color is almost the same, but I can tell you for China, the top one, which is going like zoo, like top is exponential increment. That is for China. The next light green one is for US. The next one is for India, and then Brazil and Korea, they are almost overlapped. So this is from 1883. Just imagine they are collecting data from 1883. So it started around 1990 or so. Around 2005 or so, it picked up in China, you can see. And yeah, in India also it may be 2010 or something, the highest number of filing. And Brazil and Republic of Korea, they are almost overlapped, so it doesn't matter. Okay, the next one is trained in trademark registration worldwide. So what is this? How many trademarks are registered? So go back to the previous slide. This is the application. So some of the application may not get registered, right? And this is the registration. So how it is changing? You can see in from 2005 to 2019, how it is increasing like that. In 2012, I can see that it reduced. Okay, so that is the growth rate, and the number of registration is in the blue line, and growth rate is that bar. It's showing in the bar. So it reduced in some of the year, like 2011 to 13. Okay, the next one is all these are from WIPO database. Okay, next one is where is the trademark filing activity the highest? As you can imagine, it's in China. See, everything that is the highest number, it's going to happen in China. So you can understand what is the other numbers. You can see that in US that is 672,681. And in China that is 7,833,081. That's a huge number of difference. Do you understand? Like all other countries, India is on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. India is on 6. You can see. So this is a huge number of application coming from China. Okay, the next one is, so what are the top 10 global brands by their brand value? Okay, by their trademarks and everything, what is the brand value? This is $1 million. It's showing in 2020. So Apple is the highest one. And here you can see the year-on-year change plus 38% growth. Okay, in 2020. Then Amazon, then Microsoft, then Google. These are the biggest one. And then, Samsung, Coca-Cola, Toyota, Mercedes-Benz, McDonald's. It's okay. But these top four are really, really doing really great. You can see. And there, you can see their year-on-year change also. That's really, impressive. So what are the fast riser in 2020? Which company is coming up like anything? Okay. And coming within the top 100. Netflix, because of you guys, because everybody is using Netflix nowadays, right? So because of you guys only, Netflix has come to the number one position. Then Adobe, everyone is using Adobe, right? PayPal, everybody is using. Apple also, then Salesforce. And these are the three new companies that have come in 2020. They are Tesla, Johnny Walker, and Zoom. See, I've written in a sure sign of the times, because nowadays in pandemic, we are giving this online talk, right? Although this is from WebEx, but most of the people it started from Zoom. So Zoom, it came up like that, and it became within 100. Okay, so one of the important concept about trademark is that unfair competition. Companies are usually required by law to behave according to honest practices. Everybody should be honest. That is the expectation. It is generally accepted that it is unfair to cause confusion on the market about the origin of a product or to denigrate a competitor. Denigrate means disparage, like showing down somebody. So you are supposed to, everybody is supposed to have a fair competition in the market. And intellectual property rights is a mean for building brands. I just showed you how these companies are coming up with their brand. Any company should have something special and unique to offer. For example, I was telling you about Coca-Cola and Pepsi. There will be some health drink like we use Horlicks and Complan, right? So if you imagine that if Horlicks and Complan, they both taste exactly the same. So we don't know, which one to buy. Okay, anything will do. So we can buy anything. So that is not the way to sustain in the market. So everybody should have something special and unique to offer. That is a crucial factor for the success of the business in this century. Okay. Now I am coming to counterfeiting. Okay, I just wanted to know something, that whether the today's attendance has been pasted or not. You can write me in the group. I mean, so I'm now I will come to counterfeiting. Counterfeiting means between original product and the counterfeit product. So you can take over the IP rights and the technology, and demean their brand image and profit from the investment that is made by the original owner. Now see, what is the primary function of a trademark? That it will guide the consumer towards a particular product or service amongst products or services of the same nature, right? To guarantee certain indication of quality. Certain quality will be there and avoid confusion. No confusion should be there, and it will protect the consumer because they know that, okay, we are buying some good quality thing, right? Now here I am showing you some really funny example of counterfeiting. For example, you can see the first one. We know about the shoe or the sportswear brand Adidas, right? In any any sports person from India, especially in football World Cup, you'll see all the advertisement is from Adidas. Here you can see it's not Adidas, it's Abibas. Okay, so if you are really in a hurry, you will think, oh, okay, it's Adidas, and you buy it. In that way, what happens? People are getting some low quality product, and these people are profiting from cheating people, basically. The next one is MAC cosmetic. If anybody is using it, so you can see the right one is real and the left one is fake. How you can understand? MAC is written M, A, and C. Those are written in a compact way. But on your left, you can see M is written first, then some space, and then AC. So it will happen if you are really good enough to search and look for it. You will understand something is wrong with it, so you may not take it. But if you are in a hurry, you will not notice. Okay, whatever the part is there, let's take Mac. It's Mac. Then on your right, you can see cat coat. What is that? I mean, you are going to buy a Kit Kat, and you didn't see it properly. Okay, some cat coat, you had it, but then you realized the taste is not like that. This is really not good. What happened? But then you saw the paper and saw the cover and realized, it is cat coat, not Kit Kat. And then below you can see Pumo. It's not Puma. They have shown the Puma symbol also. Puma is a lion, lion species that will be there in South America. They are showing that one also, but the name is Pumo, not Ma. And there it is okay. See, this is the one I get the most confused with, although this is not available in India, I hope so. You can see some Chinese writing is there. So it's probably there in China or somewhere. But it looks so much like the same bottle or something like Olay, right? But it became okay. So on your right, you can see a Domino pizza. It's not Domino's pizza, it's a Domino pizza. But they have put the symbol also like that. See, just for Domino's pizza, they will put the symbol tilted just above Domino's pizza. Here also it is like that. And then Pizza Hot. It's not hot, it's hot. So if you are seeing from this side, you will think, okay, it's hot, let's go inside. And then you will go and you will have some really bad food. So you will think Pizza Hut is bad nowadays. So how these people are doing, these people are actually demeaning that brand image. This is not a fault of Pizza Hut, right? These guys, they are using it. So this is called counterfeiting. And these products are counterfeiting product. So US companies are the ones that are most affected by counterfeiting. Here is a statistical analysis. You can see that in United States, this is from on customs seizures. So when you are traveling and you are going in some country, there will be custom in the airport, right? So those people will seize these counterfeit products. So if this okay, that okay shampoo is coming through China to here, in India, it should get halted at the custom, Indian customs. So see, in US, they caught uh, it is increased, I guess, the pirated product. This is basically called counterfeit and pirated products. Pirated digital products distributed in the market, and so many things are there. Most in the US, then France and Italy, Switzerland. You will not find India here. Okay, so trademark prosecution. Okay, I just wanted to tell you that after I finish my PPT here, this is just for a few minutes, then I'll be done. Then I'll be talking for 5 minutes or so about the career opportunities in IPR. Okay, whoever is interested, they can attend that session. Okay, so trademark prosecution, how you do it. 18 means section 18 of Indian Trademarks Act. That is application for registration. Any person claiming to be the proprietor of a trademark used or proposed to be used by him who is desirous of registering it shall apply in writing to the registrar. Register means not Andhra University register. This is register of trademark. Okay, in the prescribed manner for the registration of his trademark. Okay, so this is section 18. This is a flow chart of trademark prosecution in India. I hope you guys can see it. So at first, at first off, you will be filing an application that can be physical or e-filing mode. Physical means offline mode, not online. Then you will get an official receipt that, okay, you have filed it. Then there will be some formality check. It will take approximately 1 month. And then there will be examination. So either it will be accepted or it will be rejected. If it is accepted, then it will be published in Trademark Journal. And, it will take around 6 to 12 months. See, on your left, it has been written. And on your right, if the examination, after examination, you get objection. So what happens? You will get some examination report. You have to give the examination report reply, and then you have to maybe arrange some hearing or something, discussion with the examiner. Then it will be accepted. If it is not accepted, then it will be refused. And then you can appeal it again to Intellectual Property Appellate Board. However, that has been dismissed. The board is not there anymore. So if it is accepted, then again publication, and then some after you get it also somebody can oppose it. So some opposition may happen. If it happens, then counter statement you have to file. You have to file affidavit or something. If there is no opposition, then you will get the registration, and the term will be for 10 years. Okay, this is very simple. So what are the steps in how you can register the trademarks in India? If first you have to select an authorized trademark agent, because probably you don't want to devote this much of time there. So you have to select one agent, and then the trademark attorney will conduct a search for trademark, whether it's available or not, it's it's satisfying all the criteria or not. Depending upon the result of the search, the trademark attorney will draft your trademark application. In case somebody already has got some similar trademark, so you have to change yours, right? After that, the trademark attorney will file your trademark application with the trademark office and send you the receipt. So just remember it that patent office is the trademark office. Okay, that is office for patent, trademark, and design. Everything that is the office. The trademark headquarter in India is Mumbai. For patent, it is Kolkata. So they will send you the receipt. After a few days, the trademark attorney will send you the original representation sheet of your trademark as it has been filed with the trademark office. Okay. So now you will ask what will be the fee that I have to pay for trademark registration. So I'm showing you the government fees here under. If you are hiring some attorney, there will be some extra fee for attorney also. So where applicant is an individual means just a person, okay, or a startup company or a small enterprise, the fees for online filing will be 4,500. But if it is offline filing, it will be 5,000. So people always, patent office always, give you some fees reduction for online filing these days. In all other cases, if you are not an individual, not startup, not small enterprise, basically you are an MNC, right? So the e-filing would be 9,000. That's double. And for physical, it will be 10,000. Just double of the above. The matrix system. See, I hope when you guys heard about patent, then you heard about PCT. PCT is an international filing system. You can file over there, and from there you can go to all other states. This is the same thing for trademark. So this is called matrix system. For patent, it is called PCT. Okay. See, this is also important for your exam. Whoever is attending 461, I will note down everything. Whoever is not attending. So okay, the same thing is there if you understand the basic thing. So the matrix system makes it possible to protect a mark in a large number of countries. Right now, as of March 2020, there are 122 countries are member of matrix system. Okay, so you file over there and then you can go to the contracting states. What is this? So the system, this is just a pictorial representation that, for stage one, you already have some, maybe you have already filed it. Office of origin means where you have filed it for the first time. For example, if you have filed it in India for the first time and then you are thinking about, okay, let's go to some other countries. So you will be going to Madrid. So your office of origin will be India. So after that, you can go to WIPO. Then, you will have formal examination and all those things. That, just the same thing. You don't have to worry about it very much. And then after that, after you clear the examination over there, so yeah, it is acceptable. It will be, there is no objection on that. So you can choose office of the designated contracting party. Contracting party means whomever is there in the Madrid system. So you can choose as many countries as you want and you can go to them. So that will be stage 3. Now, what are the advantages? You have to file just one application. You are not going to every other country and filing, take it. You are not doing like that. So one application in one language, one set of fee in one currency. Because in Europe, it's really confusing thing. All the different countries will have different language and different currency. So it's a, hell lot of different difficult thing. So in one language, one set of fee in one currency, instead of filing separately in all the trademark offices of various contracting parties in different languages and paying separate fee in each office. I just told you it's really hectic. So better you go for Madrid. Same protection as national trademark application. National means if you are filing it and you are getting it, so the same protection you will get there also if they are accepting it. The third one is no need to wait for the office of each contracting party in which protection is sought to take a positive decision to register the mark. If no refusal is notified by an office within the applicable time limit, that is 12 to 18 months, so you can guess that your mark is protected in that country. Okay, that's a cool thing. And there is easy procedure or payment of fees, and you can add country and renewal also. It will be very easy because that is a single window system. Okay, here are some funny thing, that is comparative and disparaging advertising in India. Disparaging means I have told you putting someone down, showing someone down. Okay. Maybe you guys have seen this on your TV. The left one is Pepsodent toothpaste and the right one is Colgate toothpaste. See, both of the guys, these two boys, they are even wearing same kind of t-shirt, right? One is red and one is blue, but they look all similar, right? And they are even eating whatever they're eating, some cake or something. That is even similar. Some pastry they are eating. That is even similar. And this is Pepsodent ad. Okay. Because you can understand the Pepsodent boy is smiling and the Colgate boy is very sad. The Pepsodent, they are saying now better than Colgate strong teeth, delivers 130% germ attack power. You can see it's written on top of that. So this is not something good, right? The Pepsodent is giving an ad in television and all these people, they are watching it and they can see they are saying how Colgate, this boy got some toothache or something and this boy didn't get anything. So this is not a fair practice. This is not fair use. So what happened? This Pepsodent Colgate Palmolive Limited versus Hindustan Unilever Limited. Hindustan Unilever means this Pepsodent is their toothpaste. So Colgate filed a suit in Delhi High Court. Okay. So what happened in Delhi High Court? They said that a comparative advertisement, this is just a comparative advertisement. Who is that? Mute. Please mute. Comparative advertisements offer consumers better information about products and also help to improve overall quality of like products in the market. So Delhi High Court said, it's okay, nothing to worry about it. Now what Colgate will do? They will file again, right? So Colgate formally published this, they filed to the appellate board. So what here you can see, again, the Colgate, the left side guy and the Pepsodent is right side. The mom is very happy for the Pepsodent mom and the Colgate mom is really sad and looking at her. So on appeal, the division bench said the television campaign cannot be stated to be per se disparaging. So per se means as it is. That is not disparaging. However, defining the limits for businesses while comparing one's product with the product of its competitor, because these guys are competitor, Colgate and Palmolive, it held that statement in voice over. They are saying, I hope you guys understand Hindi. नया पेप्सोडेंट जार्मिचेक कोलगेट के मुकाबले 130% जाम अटैक पावर. प्रतिशत means percentage is misleading and inaccurate, and hence it is to be deleted. So the appellate board said that you delete it. And respondent means, see, whenever you will see some court cases, the first one will be plaintiff and this one is defendant. I mean, here it is defendant, respondent. So respondent to be restrained means Pepsodent from publishing this print advertisement, because that will be printed on their packet also, right? Or any similar advertisement which would disparage Colgate strong teeth or any product of Colgate. Okay. So this is one funny example. There will be some other example, from Veem and Nirma. You can see it when somebody is comparing some other product, you can understand that this will come under disparaging advertisement. Okay, so here are some movie dialogues, and that is basically trademark infringement. Ye Jawani Hai Diwani. I don't know whom you guys have watched it or not. So this is Hamdard National Foundation. Okay, so I will tell you the dialogues of the movie. The son is saying, "ये रूह अफ़ज़ा बहुत बेकार है." बेकार है means this is what do you call it in English? I hope you guys understand Hindi, right? ये रूह अफ़ज़ा बहुत बेकार है. Means this is not good. रूह अफ़ज़ा. रूह अफ़ज़ा is a beverage. It's from Hamdard National Foundation. Then mom is saying सब ठीक हो जाएगा, everything will be all right. Then son is saying again, सिपाही is रूह अफ़ज़ा के बहुत बुरा है. It means that apart from this रूह अफ़ज़ा, because it is very bad. So what happened? This Hamdard National Foundation and another, they fight a case against Hussein Dalal and others. This Hussein Dalal must be the producer of this movie, saying that the following dialogues were offending. So definitely it's offending, right? So it was the contention of the plaintiff that the said dialogue was detrimental to the interest of the proprietor and in all certainty damaged the goodwill and reputation of the plaintiff. Plaintiff means the true observer. So people who are watching, they may think that probably Rooh Afza is really that bad because the hero is saying like that. So probably Rooh Afza is really bad. So it was held that infringement of trademark could be caused by spoken words. These are spoken words by the hero and visual depiction of the same in the presentation of the movie, and it is a breach of section 29(9) of the Trademark Act. Accordingly, the defendants were restrained. Defendant means the movie, were restrained from releasing the home video version of the movie or any other version of the movie on cable television. However, the order was not made applicable to theater version as the movie was already released in the theater. I'm so sorry. Did you not understand? Here, the son the hero was so upset and he was talking with his mom saying that, this Rooh Afza is a drink. Probably you have had it. Red color drink. So he is saying, he's very sad. He's saying Rooh Afza is really bad. And mom is not listening. Mom is saying, okay, son, everything will be all right. Then son is saying, no, Rooh Afza is really, really bad. That is what written in Hindi, okay? So that's what I'm saying. In people who are watching it, they will think that if hero is saying that Rooh Afza is bad, then it must be bad. Don't buy it. Okay, so that is that's not good. So that's what I wanted to mean. Okay, so now I'm coming to the important point that you guys may be interested in. Naga Pujita. Can you please mute yourself? Some kid is talking. Okay. If somebody knows her, you can just, tell her. So the career opportunities in IPR in India. I also came from science, like you guys, that I was also worried about what will be the opportunity. So I thought this might be relevant for you. Okay, so you guys can get jobs at Patent Office India. First of all, the name of the post will be examination or examiner of patents and design. So you guys can be examiner of patent. Okay, whatever you are just learning, you guys can be examiner of patent. The educational qualification is master degree in science or bachelor degree in engineering. So MSc, all these MSc people who are watching, or I'm not sure engineering people are watching or not, maybe not, but all you from watching who are MSc, you can apply for it. So the selection process will be written test, and the age limit is 35 years. And anybody from any science field, you can apply for this exam. Okay, so you keep an eye on the Patent Office website. Okay, so this may be helpful for you. The next one is examiner. Few months back, one of the contractual examiner of trademark, the ad came out. So they are looking for degree or equivalent and 2 years experience as an advocate. So this may not be relevant for these MSc people here, but first one, you can definitely go for it. Examiner of patent and you can try. Okay. So this is the IP India vacancy announcement. So this is a really good job, I can tell you. So you will be examining the patents because the patent office needs people like you who are strong in the subject matter, so that whichever patent application is coming, you guys can understand, okay, what is the meaning of this and what we can do, whether it will be accepted or rejected. It will depend upon you guys. So okay, you can get a job in patent office. The next one is there is a scheme from DST. DST means Department of Science and Technology. I hope you guys know it. So that scheme is called Women Scientist Scheme C. Women Scientists A, B, C, 3 are there. This one will be C. The eligibility is Indian woman, first one. Everybody is that, I hope. And then minimum essential qualification is Master of Science, Bachelor of Engineering or Technology or equivalent. So again, you guys can apply for it. The minimum age will be 27 years. So whomever has not reached that years, so you guys can wait for it and then appear for it. The selection procedure will be first an online exam, all India exam, and then an interview. So after that, you will have an opportunity to work 1 year in your selected area. You can work in a law firm and you will be paid for it. Okay, depending upon your qualification. If you are masters, you will be paid 30,000. If you are BTech, you will be paid 25,000. If you have PhD, you will be paid 35,000 per month. So like that 1 year, this is one. You guys will have, after this, you guys, will not look back. If you have this qualification, this experience of this training, because this online exam and interview, they will judge you, right? So they will take which number is this? So I have given you the link also. So any woman, I'm sorry boys, these are not for you, but for any woman, you should definitely try this scheme.
In the sleeping line.
Next one is
in the standing line, curve right.
That is constantly talking.
Miss Pujita, you are disturbing us. Miss Pujita, we will note your name and take necessary disciplinary action. You are disturbing us.
Color 5 butterflies.
Thank you, sir. Okay, so the next one will be on your own. Okay, so you guys, I hope you guys remember. The first one will be jobs at patent office. Okay, you can be examiner of patent. The next one will be one fellowship. That is Women Scientist Scheme. You can work anywhere in India. And then the third one will be on your own. How? So there will be 2 ads. Yeah, it's okay. You realized it's okay. Naga Pujita. How? there will be two exams conducted by Indian Patent Office. One is patent agent exam, another is trademark agent exam. So it generally earlier it used to happen every year, but due to this pandemic, it has not happened since 2020. Since last year, it has not happened. So by the time the next time the notification comes, so you can apply for it. But one thing will be there. For that, you need to read the Patent Act. So this maybe for the current law students who are doing okay, who is writing this? Okay, sir has written something. You can please go through it in chat. For patent agent exam, you have to go through the Patent Act completely. So right now, you guys, I think for you guys currently, the most suitable thing will be patent examiner. That is the best one for you. Then when you reach age 27 years, you go for this woman scientist. And if anybody is aware of this Patent Act and has got good hold of Patent Act, like maybe people from law school or something, so they can appear for this exam. This is patent agent exam. There will be one written test. After you qualify it, there will be one exam. Interview. So after that, you will be given a number, a registered patent agent of India. Now, what you have to do, you don't have to go anywhere. I mean, if you want to work on your own, so you can open a law firm on your own, or you can just, sit at home. I'm sorry. For example, if some girl, if you have some baby, or you just got married or something, some family responsibility, or for boys also, if you are not able to go due to your family responsibility or something, so these things can be very good in that case, because you don't have to open your law firm also. You have to just sit at your home, pass this exam, patent agent, you will be given the patent agent registration number, so you can file patent on your own. Just you have to know some people. Just you have to give your ad that, okay, I'm the patent agent and I'll be filing it, so that people can contact you and you can file patent on your own. Okay, so like that, similar trademark agent will be there. For that there will be a different exam. That is not patent agent exam. That is called trademark agent exam. So that is again conducted by Government of India. After qualifying the examination, professional can start practicing as trademark agent and help corporates and individual filing trademark. So basically, these are the same thing, but that is for patent. This is for trademark. And who are eligible? Degree holders. Anybody. All of you will be degree holder by the time you finish this. Finish your degree here. So anybody can apply it, and there is no age bar. But just the thing that you need to read the act. So for earning on your own, you need to read the relevant acts. Patent Act. You can read also. Okay. On the right corner down, you can see that what will be a trademark agent. For patent agent, you have to come through this thing. But some other people who have not taken this trademark agent exam, they can also become trademark agent. How? If first of all they are company secretary. So that is a different professional qualification. These are called professional qualification. Okay, whatever we are getting, whatever you guys are getting now, it is not professional qualification. But if somebody is having a degree in law, that is called professional qualification, because you are not having the Bachelor of Law after passing the school exam, right? You will have another bachelor degree and then you will be enrolled in LLB. So that LLB, that law is called professional degree. This CS, company secretary, is called professional degree. So these two people, they don't have to go through this trademark agent exam. Okay, they can file, they can act as trademark agent. So if anybody is advocate and anybody is company secretary, they can act as trademark agent and they can file on their own. But for patent agent, you have to read the Patent Act and pass through the exam, and then you can earn on your own, sitting at your own home. Okay, so these are the three things that I wanted to share with you, so that you guys can understand that why we are every day we are shouting on IP, and we are asking all of you guys, please join, listen. Some of you guys, who are from, I can see that everybody is writing good evening zoology department. I wonder why you guys are writing good evening zoology department, because we are not aware of from which department you are from. If you have any question, then you can write. But probably, I understand your mindset. You are thinking like, "Arey, this is not science. We are not able to understand what is it." That is why I put these things, that so that you understand that there is a way where you can go and earn after you finish your degree here. If you are not going through PhD or something, still there is a way. If you are not going to corporate also, still there is a way in IP that you can go through. So for patent examiner, you don't need any other qualification. You don't have to study Patent Act. You don't have to, be 27 years old. Anything you can do, you can go through the patent examiner exam. So have an eye on IP India website. The website is IP India. I will type here if nobody knows it. IP India. You just type it in Google, it will come. So that's all for today. Thank you. So many people joined today. Thank you so much. And thank you guys for interacting. And I really had fun today with you. Oh, that is what I was asking. Nobody pasted the attendance link.
Have you posted the attendance link?
Sir, I didn't paste. I thought, it's already there, but I will paste. I
I'll
asked
paste
you
it.
guys also whether you have got the attendance link or not. I thought my colleague has done it, but I will do it now.
Yeah, please do it
I
quickly.
hope this session is useful for you.
And if there are any questions, please ask. Ms. Anandya
Yeah.
has taught this
Yeah,
subject.
please, if there is any question, you can.
Anandya,
Yes, sir.
there are so many questions in the chat box.
Oh, now.
Yeah, have you answered all of them? There are so many
Please
questions.
clarify that. Yes, sir. Because actually I gave them some exercise, and I was, asking them that what is your view. So, but if you have, Veera Krishna is asking again, please clarify the cosmetics color trademark, ma'am.
There seems many questions in the chat box. If you have answered it already, well and good. If not answered, you.
I will go from the beginning again, sir,
Yeah.
so that I can see everything.
Students, you please ask. Dr. Anandya has got a lot of experience in this IP. She was a faculty at IIT Kharagpur. She was teaching many students like you on the Swayam platform, intellectual property rights. So you are very fortunate to have Dr. Anandya as one of your faculty, and she will guide you, and she can reach out to her. She is sitting in the very much in the campus itself, in our campus, Andhra University campus. So make use
Yes,
of.
of course. I have given you my mail ID also. If anybody has got any question, or anybody, I am at the South Campus. So anybody can, drop a message or something, and you can directly come and talk to me, or if anybody has got any question.
So you have answered the questions raised in the chat box.
Yes, sir. Those I have answered, because those are the exercises, and I was asking them that you write your view. But at last, there is something that Veera Krishna has written. Please clarify cosmetics color, and Kaviti attendance link. I will just paste. Please wait. Attendance link will be there.
Go from the beginning. If you have not answered some of them, you please answer. You have another 15 minutes time.
Okay. Just please wait for what is the reason that China is in top place of trademark? China is in top place of everything, Rakesh. Somehow they are really and really IP savvy. They are top place in patent also. If you can see the patent statistics also from WIPO, they have surpassed US, and they are the top filer in every IP field. They are somehow really, really and really savvy. So, in India, we are also trying to do the same, because how these people are doing this thing, and we are not able to do it. So we are also doing that thing. I'm trying to get the attendance link. Just please hold on.
That is why maximum number of people are staying as of now, 485. Because you have
Yes,
not
sir.
posted your
And but
attendance.
I really love that so many people have interacted with me. So
Yeah, that's great.
it's really great. I'm just trying to get the attendance link. Just please hold on. That's why I asked you guys in between also. Since nobody replied, I thought it's there.
Anandya,
Yes, sir.
that IP Olympiad link is also there. That also you posted. Some people think they will
See,
not
just
see
now
it.
I have pasted the attendance link. Please sign
Yeah.
it.
That IP Olympiad,
हाँ सर.
IPTSC का
हाँ सर.
आपके पास है वो लिंक है?
अभी तो लिंक नहीं है सर. But we can find that link.
Yeah,
IP
I will
Olympiad
share it
exam.
with you.
Uh,
Because 30th is the last date.
oh, this 30th.
Hmm.
Okay. Okay, I will quickly go through the questions that is there.
Just I'm sending it to you.
Please clarify the cosmetics color trademark. Cosmetics color trademark. I will go back. Okay. What is the reason that China is the top place? I told you. And cosmetics color trademark, I will just go back. Yeah. So basically, for any trademark registration, you have to say that this is unique. This is really unique. If the color mark is unique, then you will get it. I'm trying to get this one. This one you are talking about. Can you get a trademark of Madame Gaga for cosmetics company? This Veera Krishna. You are asking about this one. Okay, if you are asking about that one, I didn't say anything about color here. This is about Madame Gaga, and that she really exists. There is somebody called Lady Gaga, and she really famous. Yeah. So this is not about color mark. This is about you are taking somebody's name, because lady, when we respect some woman, we add lady in front of that. We don't do it in India, but that's a culture in in Western countries, in UK mostly, they will call it lady. So, and in France also, in those countries, they call it madam, basically madam, they call it. So here you can see that I'm asking you that can you get a trademark on Madame Gaga for your cosmetics company? Now see, what does the word Gaga means? Gaga means, I'm going Gaga over it. Gaga means going crazy. Okay, going crazy over it. So, if you think that, okay, my cosmetics brand is so good that if I apply it, I will look like, people will go crazy. If you think like that, and you are thinking, okay, let me put the word Madame Gaga, and you are not aware of the singer Lady Gaga, so you have filed it, but it will be objected there because she exists. And Lady and Madam, this is just addressing with respect somebody. So this is somebody, some living person. So you are not going to get. This is not a color trademark. Color trademark was this one. I was talking about that, about this weighing machine. If the bottom 4 points, it has got some 4 color, same green color at 4 different corners. So would you get a trademark for that? Somebody was telling me that it will get probably, but according to my view, that you will not get it probably, because when you are using that weighing machine, you are not flipping it over, right? The machine will be like this only. So the color, you cannot even see it properly. So if something is not visible, then what is the point of applying a trademark for that? That is my view. And here in this question, one is about, whether this can be a trademark or not. In fact, both are there, the same thing, whether this can be a trademark or not. First one is about color, and second one is about one person truly exists. That's why trademark should be unique. Yeah, exactly. And here I showed you that this thing, for this shoe, it is another color trademark, but it is visible completely. Here you see it's not visible. I'm telling you that It's just kept like that. These green things you cannot see. But for this shoe, see, it is a hill. So whenever someone is wearing it, you can still see the red color. So they can apply for trademark. They have applied for trademark and it has been registered. This is a Louis Vuitton hill. But for that, the color trademark, they are probably not going to get because that is not visible to human eye. So how will people know whether something is there underneath or not? Something like that. Okay. And sir, so this was my exercise too. And I'm happy that so many people actually interacted with me. And this was my exercise one, that whether we can get a trademark for that or not. So yeah, I'm really happy that so many people have participated today.
And also post that IPTSC IP Olympiad notification. I sent it to you in your WhatsApp.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
Can you post that now? Or we'll do
Okay,
it
sir. I
tomorrow?
will just open it.
Yeah.
Sir, this is an image.
In WhatsApp I sent.
Okay, okay. Please hang on, guys. It's just taking some time because I have to open the WhatsApp in my device. Everything is not coming probably. So I will paste to register for the fourth edition of IPTAC. Click here. I will post that only because everything is not coming. Now it came. Okay, guys. So this is the exam for fourth edition of IP Talent Search Examination. You have to click here. Sir, since it is a long message, so earlier in my earlier message, the whole thing didn't come properly. So I'm pasting the last line.
Okay. IPTSC.com, I think they have to visit. Share with your friends also.
IPTSC.com also I will paste. Please visit. The first standard also I'm pasting because in between there is no link, only benefit for students. So I'm pasting the first stanza also. Whoever is writing, thank you. All of you are really welcome because I really enjoyed discussing with you guys. You have interacted a lot. And I hope that, is there any legal issues on trademark, ma'am? Yes, because trademark is a legal right. So if you are infringing on somebody's trademark, so that guy is gonna sue you. For example, I have shown you some example of, movie, some hero is saying something, that about some drink. So that a drink company, they sued this producer of this movie, saying that, if hero is saying this drink is bad, so other people will start thinking, better not to buy it. So it is a legal right and definitely legal issues are associated with it.
All IP rights are legal rights. If someone infringes into your rights, you can always go to court and get the relief. Could be either patent, trademark, copyright, design, all of them gives you that legal protection or the legal right on that property, what you have created using your intellectual labor or intellectual power.
See, when we are saying intellectual property rights, rights means itself some legal right. So whatever is there, there are 8 categories of IP. everything is legal. You know, if you are doing something, whoever is filing and getting that IP, they have got certain rights. And if you are going into that right, if you are using that right, that guy can sue you. So everywhere legal issues are associated.
I also suggest all the students at least the maximum number to register for the IP Olympiad, and all of you will definitely will pass because you have been given the best knowledge from the best experts, and they will also give some mock test they will conduct. They will give you some material also. This will be a testimony for your knowledge, you know, in the area of IP. It will be definitely you will be having a added advantage compared to other people if you are equipped with all these certificates. You know, you do some WIPO courses in the IP, World Intellectual Property Organization also offers lot of free courses, online courses. You register for some courses, and also on the Swayam platform, NPTEL also offers lot of programs. They're all free programs, you know. And if you give an exam, they also give a certificate, say with your marks and the kind of grades you got in the examinations. So try to acquire as much knowledge as possible, as many certificates are possible, so they will come into use in your career.
I have just placed the link of WIPO e-learning center. So anybody, if you guys have extra time to earn some certificate. So WIPO is the mother body. I told you WIPO is the mother body of IP in this world. So if you can get some certificates from there, and if you do their course, you will really learn in this field, and it will really add a lot to your career.
It is a World Intellectual Property Right, a UN body. The certificate is highly valuable. Okay, if all the doubts have been clarified, then probably we can close the session for today. So tomorrow we will have another interesting session. I think till 1st of November we'll be having all these classes. Most likely 1st November would be the last class for all of you. Okay, and then we will talk to the principal and come back to you. How do we conduct the examination? What is the process? I think we can have one full day or one full session. I think the interactive session again, the question answers, you know, about the examination and what kind of questions will be there. Probably you can ask your doubts, you know, all those things. Probably you can spend one day exclusively without any presentations, without any talks, only on doubts. Come prepared, make list of all your doubts so that we'll be able to clarify to you. And Dr. Anandi also has given you the opportunities, career opportunities, you know, career prospects for all of you. In fact, you know, intellectual property now is emerging as such a growing area. Everyone can look for an employment opportunity if you have got the right skills in the intellectual property. And apart from that, you also do these courses, get these certificates, you know, that puts you above the remaining people in the world. That is very, very important. Okay, can we call it a day? Shall we log out?
Okay, everybody, if there is no question, okay, I got an idea and I applied for a trademark. I did this in the morning. Same idea got by another person, and he too applied in the afternoon. By some technical issues, he got that trademark. Is it possible to return my trademark? No, no. If you have filed earlier, the exactly same color and symbol and I hope you by this you are meaning the same thing. So probably you are not going to get that. I mean, probably even that person cannot do exactly the same symbol or something exactly the same. If that person is filing exactly the same thing, then they will not get it before he filed later. But I didn't understand what does it mean by some technical issues he got the trademark, because he will not get that trademark. Is it possible to return my trademark? Because you have already filed it, right? But if you are not filing, you have an idea and you have that mark, and you are using it, not filing it, and somebody that exact same mark somebody has got and somebody has filed it, so that guy will be the registered owner of that mark. And if you have not filed it, but if you have filed it, so your application will go for examination earlier than this guy, right? But it's, you know, it's really really not possible for two guys and working in the same area. Now, okay, so there is another important thing that you should know, that there are classes. I told you about trademark classes. So for different trademarks, if that you are filing one trademark symbol for clothing brand, and that guy is filing it for you know, for computer, so it may still get you, both of you guys can get it, but probably not in the same area, not in the same market. But it's a very rare case. I
And
hope
also,
that,
I would like to add here, for
yes, sir.
any IP, you know, the philosophy, the rule is that first to file, not first to invent. Whoever filed first, he gets the right. No, that is a priority date, what we call it. So the first to file is important than first to invent. You might have got the idea first, but if you are not filed, you are not registered, you will lose that benefit. So that is what is important, is that first to file as soon as you get an idea. And also simply morning getting an idea and filing a trademark in the evening, it is not possible. You need to evaluate it, whether the pre-art, you know, whether someone has already filed such kind of a trademark or not. You need to do the search using the databases for trademarks, you know, whether someone has already filed for it. If it is not filed till that point of time, then only you can file. Even if you file it also, it takes some time. But the moment you file, you get the protection from that date onwards. That is what we call the priority date. Or the application date is nothing but the priority date. So you need to file first, not invent first, or not getting the idea first.
Not like that, sir. We both filed on the same day. Yeah, I understand, but in the morning and in the evening. But you both have filed, na? I was telling that if you had not filed and that guy filed and you were just sitting with the mark, so that guy will be the owner and you cannot do anything about it. But you have also filed. So your exam, I mean, your application is also being processed before that guy's application. So I hope by here, by this, you want to mean that you have already searched and you have already filed it, that this is not available. Okay, I will file it. Okay.
You see, yeah, both can file, but there will be a time difference, you know. So whoever files first, he gets the priority. Am I right, Anandya?
Yes, sir.
So both have filed. Whoever filed first, even a 1 minute difference, I think he gets priority over you.
Yeah, actually, this is very rare case, sir. Because getting the same trademark, same kind of symbol and color, everything same, and that is for also a similar class. For example, I told you both are filing for clothing brand, and both are filing the same thing, same color. That will be a really rare case, but still you have filed earlier.
Okay, good. I think I'm happy that students are interacting, though all the students are not participating. That is a very sad part of it. There are 1,200 students registered for this, but only hardly 300, 400, maximum 500 people only attending the classes. That is very, very, very sad part. We are not happy with that. But whoever are attending the classes, I'm very happy that they're interacting, they're raising good questions, they're trying to understand the subject. Definitely, you will get the benefit in your career because of your effort and interest to learn the new things. All the best. Have a good day and see you tomorrow.
Yeah, thank you so much. Bye. Good night.